The day started like any other for Memphis, Tennessee. The sun rose over the city, casting a golden glow on the streets. But inside the mansion known as Graceland, something was terribly wrong. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was found lifeless on the bathroom floor. His eyes were open, but they no longer held the sparkle that had captivated millions. The silence was deafening. It was August 16, 1977, and Elvis Presley was just 42 years old. The news spread like wildfire. Fans across the world were in shock. How could the king, who had brought so much joy and energy to their lives, be gone so suddenly? The official cause of death was a heart attack, but many believed it was the result of years of drug abuse. Elvis had been struggling with addiction for a long time. His life, once filled with music and fame, had become a relentless cycle of performances, pills, and loneliness. The man who had once danced on stage with electrifying energy was now a shadow of his former self. Elvis's funeral was a somber affair. Thousands of fans lined the streets of Memphis, many holding signs that read, "We love you, Elvis." His body was laid to rest at Graceland, the place he called home. The world mourned the loss of a legend, but the story of how Elvis became the king and how he fell from grace is a tale that needs to be told. Elvis Presley was born on January 8, 1935, in a small house in Tupelo, Mississippi. His family was poor, and they struggled to make ends meet. His mother, Gladys, and his father, Vernon, worked hard to provide for their only surviving child. Elvis's twin brother, Jesse Garin, had died at birth, leaving Elvis to grow up as an only child. Despite the hardships, Elvis found solace in music. He would often sing along to the gospel songs he heard at church, and his voice had a natural, soulful quality that set him apart. As a teenager, Elvis moved to Memphis with his family. It was in Memphis that he first started to make a name for himself. He would often perform at local venues, and his unique style, a mix of country, blues, and rock and roll, captivated audiences. His performances were energetic and raw, and he soon caught the attention of Sam Phillips, the owner of Sun Records. Phillips saw something special in Elvis and signed him to a record deal. Elvis's first big break came in 1956, when he appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show. His performance of Heartbreak Hotel was a sensation. The audience was electrified, and Elvis became an overnight sensation. His popularity soared, and he quickly became a household name, but with fame came a price. Elvis's life became a whirlwind of performances, interviews, and constant public scrutiny. Despite the challenges, Elvis continued to make music and act in films. He starred in movies like Love Me Tender and Jailhouse Rock, which further solidified his status as a cultural icon. But as the years went on, the pressure of fame began to take its toll. Elvis started to rely on drugs to cope with the stress, and his health began to decline. His relationships suffered, and his marriage to Priscilla Beaulieu ended in divorce. The king's final years were marked by a series of ups and downs. He made a triumphant return to Las Vegas in the late 1960s, but his performances were increasingly erratic. His weight fluctuated, and his mood swings became more pronounced. Despite the challenges, Elvis continued to perform, driven by a deep love for his fans and a desire to keep the music alive. On that fateful day in August 1977, the king of rock and roll was no more, but his legacy lives on. Elvis Presley's music continues to inspire new generations, and his story is a reminder of the highs and lows of fame. The world may have lost a legend, but the spirit of Elvis lives on in the hearts of those who loved him.